She says, hello, everyone. So good to see you guys. So today's been a crazy day, a busy day. And then I have to get ready later on for a big photo event that's happening here in Brooklyn. We're having a Fort Greene Fling event, and I will be photographing that. I was so happy when they sent the check in yesterday. I was like, "Ooh, money just
That's
dropped
always a
in the
good thing.
account." The money dropped in the account, and I am ready to go.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Cha-ching. So, how are you doing? What's up, Chris? What's new in your world?
I'm good today. I'm just trying to get some stuff done. I'll be back in California again, not this week, but next week. So you know how that goes. So I won't be here next week Friday, guys. Just as a notice.
Yes.
And this time I'll probably be in the air somewhere across the United States, getting to California.
We're gonna start doing a segment called "Where is Chris?"
Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll even send a GPS location of where I am currently.
GPS. We're gonna say, hey, Chris is on GPS time. So anyway, but my voice is a little graspy today. I guess all this talking is taking its
It'll do it to you. It'll do it to you.
And the weather is beautiful in New York today. I don't know if you've been here. For those that are in New York, it is beautiful, nice temperatures. We're in between two rain periods. They say tomorrow's supposed to be rainy. Yesterday was supposed to be rainy, but it didn't rain. It was a great day. So anyway, headlines. So today, for those that are new, and what we are doing, this is our Trend Watch Thursday, and there's a lot in the news, y'all. It's God Almighty. Let's get the worst out the way first. So you obviously know the Springfield, Ohio saga continues. Trump continues to double down on crazy. And so it is one of those things where you just say, why are people, again, we keep asking the question, why are there people following this guy? And but I also heard that the woman that the whole thing started with, she went to her neighbors, had a translator,
yeah,
and apologized.
Yes. And see, they're not telling that. You're not hearing that story on in the main news. You hear it either like on cable news or like on one of these social platforms. But I think she is just like distraught the fact that this is blown up into all of this. And she went back and apologized when she realized her cat was in the house hiding.
Was in the basement. He was in the basement.
Yeah. And that's where all this came from. I mean, it's even gone to so far where the mayor, I believe, has been given emergency powers to help kind of soothe the situation in the city, because they've had so many bomb threats. 3 grocery stores yesterday or the day before.
30 plus bomb threats.
It's ridiculous. And it's all made up, and they've admitted to it.
And the Trump people know that it was made up, and they still continue with it.
They don't care. Now you've got neo-Nazi people out there,
and the Proud Boys,
out there marching. Like, people are afraid to go out the city. And here I was listening to MSNBC this morning from last night, and they were talking about how it's no coincidence that they've chosen to use the town of Springfield, because in the United States, I think they said there's like 100 and something.
No, there's 100 and something. I'm sorry. There was 300. Was it 300 or
probably? Springfields were spread throughout the United States, so it's like this universal thing. They even made mention of how like the Simpsons use Springfield as their town because it's a universal town that can be found anywhere in this country. And when they say Springfield, when they don't say Ohio, it could mean your town as well.
Yes.
So they're very strategic. They know what they're doing.
Psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have our ladies in the studio. We
gotta bring them on in.
Gotta bring our ladies on. Elise, what's going on?
Hello.
And Gwendolyn, what's going on? The ladies are in the building. We can't have these conversations without the ladies.
Oh,
Good morning.
Morning. It's still morning. It's still morning. Yeah. It's just. But then the governor and the mayor said to Trump, "Do not come to Springfield.
Yeah.
Do not come to
And
Springfield." And he
and
says,
they're
"I'm."
Republican. The governor is a Republican. I don't know if the mayor's Republican, but still, like the fact that they're saying don't
No,
come
they're
here because
both
all you're
Republicans.
doing,
They're both. Yeah,
you're
both Republicans.
inciting violence. I mean, the city has been upended. No one knew about Springfield, Ohio, unless you're from there. And now, like the whole world has eyes on them, and it's devastating. The Haitian people saved that city from collapse because
Yes.
a lot of stores were closing, and they said, "Come on in." They revitalized the area. Like shops didn't close. The revenue is up, but yet still now you're demeaning and you're scrutinizing and putting a target on these people's back. They are here legally. They're not illegal. They're here legally.
But again, it's the whole thing of it's like when JD Vance was asked about his the comment that he, I think who made that comment about that white Lumi or whatever her name is, Loomer or whatever her name is, said
yeah,
that
Loomer.
the White House was going to have the White House was going to smell like curry.
Curry,
Fried chicken.
racist,
And
She
he
said curry.
racist.
Fried chicken.
well, it doesn't matter what your food is if it's curry or fried chicken. I mean, their whole mindset is just bigotry, hatred for the other, and and again, it pisses me off to no end when I see Black people, Asian people, women, white, anyone, any person of color, any woman, and they support this craziness. It's just mine. How do you support this kind of behavior and
Yeah.
say it's okay?
So it feeds you into your hatred of people. It
Yeah,
feeds you into your
there's a
low
lot of hate out
self-esteem
there.
for yourself.
Yeah, self-hatred.
That wanting to blame people for your situation.
Yeah.
And I say, like with white people in particular, you have every opportunity in the world. You haven't been the ones that have been traditionally oppressed. And I think
Yeah.
but you have been the ones with all the hatred. You have been the ones that promote that. And I think that's a part of it. But it's also like when people think this, some people think this is entertaining. It's something to do.
Yeah.
But all of this
It's
for me is a big distraction, right? It's all of this big
Distraction.
distraction from his poor performance at the debate and get you away from Project 2025.
Yes.
Because everybody's focused on this. And I think it's so critical that people constantly still remind people
Project 2025
is real while he stirs the hornet's nest out there in Springfield. And yeah, both the governor and the mayor are both Republicans. And they said, please don't come to our town. And he said he wants to go to Springfield and Aurora, Ohio.
Yes.
Because they're trying to stir it up there as well.
But they're just, and even with the governor though, I mean, the governor is, I mean, I have to say the governor of Ohio, he's been a really good governor. He's been a good Republican. He's a balanced man in a lot of ways. But I say the psychology, I'm going to vote for this dude. When will these people put country over party?
But I think we have to go back to the governor. He said he's been this good person, but he supported Trump.
Yeah, I was saying, how could you support him?
When we define good, I don't know. I have,
I mean by legislation.
I have relatives who live in Cleveland and East Cleveland, Ohio, a family that still lives there. Has he been good to everyone in Cleveland?
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, in Ohio, because we have to look at those areas where they play the same games as they do in places like Mississippi too. Mm-hmm. We're going to make it harder for them to get to their polls. We're going to scrutinize them more. We're gonna talk about Cleveland because that's blue. So we won't give them all the resources. So he's played some of the games, but I think he realizes that this man, I think they finally understand this man doesn't care. He cares about only one person. That's himself.
He only cares about himself and keeping out of jail.
This city or that state, he doesn't care.
No, he don't care about the people. He doesn't care about someone may get killed.
No.
I mean, one of the people said, someone is going to get hurt.
Yep.
And he's going to use plausible deniability, one of those movies I watch so much. But plausible deniability to say, I didn't really say that. The same thing he uses about January the 6th.
Yeah.
He uses that by saying, I didn't really say, but you did the dog whistle. You said, let's go back and make sure they don't take our government.
Or I didn't know them. I mean, there's pictures of you shaking hands and having food. Right. Well, I don't know him.
He was hanging out with the Proud Boy leader and all the other stuff. Gwendolyn, you had something to say.
You know what? I'm speechless. That's where I am, because this isn't like when you have something so obvious, but you consciously choose to ignore it. There is no excuse for it. Like everybody knows the emperor has no clothes. Right? Like we know exactly who he is. We know what he stirs up. We know what chaos he brings. And still, there are people who side with him because that's who they are. Birds of a feather flock together.
Yes.
Yes. You know that's right.
It doesn't matter what ethnicity, what gender you are. If that's in your heart, if hate is in your heart, and I'm gonna call it hate, like we're not gonna sugarcoat it.
It's hate.
If hate's in your heart, then that's who you are. Like there's nothing else to say about that. It doesn't matter what gender you are. You're like, how could you vote for that person? And they're talking about you. They don't see themselves that way.
Right. They don't. There's another saying, like water seeks its own level.
Exactly.
I want to go somewhere and just
take us there.
Let me do this.
Take us there.
Uh-oh.
I'm buckling up. I'm buckling up.
J.D. Vance is married to a woman of Indian descent.
Yes.
How does she get into bed at nighttime and lay next to him, knowing the things that he spews on a regular basis about women and about immigrants?
She don't see.
We'd have been fighting. We would have been fighting.
Remember when we had that same question about George Conway?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
they divorced now. They divorced now.
Oh, he was like, I'm done. I kicked her out the bed. Right. He kicked her out the bed. Right. He was like, I'm done.
Did you all see the video of Rachel Meadows reminding people that this is the strategy they use to get you off track and distracted?
Yes.
By bringing up these issues. And she did a great job. She said,
Rachel
Maddow. So you're distracted from all of the real issues. You're distracted from the fact that he doesn't have a plan. He has a concept of a plan.
Yes.
You're distracted from Project 2025, right? You're distracted from his awful debate. You're distracted from the fact that he has not told you anything about his policies, period, other than
he doesn't have any
Project 2025, right?
No policies.
And so he doesn't have any. He doesn't talk about any, and he spends all of his time in negative talk. So she did such a great job of saying, and it was toward media to say, I thought we were better than this. I didn't think we were going to fall for this again. He started in 2015. Now it's happening again now, and we're falling for it again on something that's not factual. And then we all have to check our own selves.
So
are we also doing the same thing?
Here's another thing that kind of I found amusing, and it just shows how stupid these MAGA people are. I don't remember where he was. I think it was over the weekend where he had mentioned how this musical artist was such a hot musical artist, and then the musical artist comes out and it's a man. I'm like, one, you don't even know who you're talking about. You're talking about in public, and then you're fully embarrassed, and then these people are up there just like, okay.
She's hot.
Like it's like the blind and the dumb leading each other.
Ugh.
And the price that man has paid since he's
withdrawn his support from him, I believe. But
because he lost his money because the what is it, Mana? I think it's the band. He had made some recordings with. They pull everything off every live stream.
I heard that. Yeah.
They disassociated with him. There are people. I mean, he's getting things canceled because of him showing up like that. And of course, the Puerto Ricans who community that's not in support of that have come out as well. So he has that, even though he said, "Isn't she hot?" And he said, I would never have come up on the stage when you did that to me. I would have because clearly we have no relationship.
Obviously,
that, right?
he didn't even know your gender.
He didn't even know who he was because he didn't know the gender, right? So you come up but you come up anyway. How embarrassing is that? And why would you put
and what's that say
your
about
career
you?
on the line?
Oh yeah.
And be embarrassed all at the same time. That's insane to me. Like, and that goes back to Chris's question. Why are people supporting this?
This is the MO. This is their MO, and people like you. I've watched a lot of these YouTubers where they go and ask a lot of these Trump supporters, a lot of different questions, and then sometimes they'll even say things that like Democrats have said, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Trump's done that," and like, no, actually, Biden has said that. Kamala Harris has said that. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, like, they're just so uneducated, and like to watch these people, it's like, oh my God, you're so effing dumb. Sorry, but yes, effing dumb.
Well, here's another subject that is really interesting. Have you guys heard this? Let me pop this on the screen. The Pope said to vote for the lesser of two evils. This is how you decide. MSNBC. And he was talking about Kamala Harris and Trump. He was saying one is against immigrants, and the other one wants to kill babies.
The Pope said that.
Yes.
Yeah, the Pope said
that. He did. He's been saying a lot of stuff. I need him to sit down. Like, take all the
I was like, what the?
That was my response.
I was like,
let's see. Can I just say it is not even close. And it is deceiving when you say it's the lesser of two evils. That's
exactly
bullshit. It is. Right. That is straight BS. There is one person who has an agenda built on hate and chaos and power over others. And then there's another person who says, look, I can have something and you can have something too. And we can all live together. It's not even close. It's not even close. But with people having babies, I'll wait for that one because I'm so sick of that too.
I am sick of it. I think, the more stories we hear, when you look at someone like the Pope, so he says all of the stuff that he says. So he said both Kamala Harris and Trump are against life, right? And lesser of two evils. But when you think about it, first of all, I need the Pope who has, whatever he does, he has never been with women, don't understand women, their whole, and how they treat women in their branch
organization,
Zion, whatever we want to call it. But the issue of women's reproductive rights, I still want people to understand is not just about an abortion. It's about reproductive rights. We had that young woman in Georgia who just died.
Yes.
She could not receive the treatment. She could not receive the DNC, which is what, and I don't know if people understand, that's what what white people used to get back in the day. When Black people were using hangers and they were going to the back alley, they were going to their doctors getting what they call DNC, which is cleaning out all of that. And so this woman couldn't even get the treatment she needed. And so she died because the doctor was afraid.
Well, let's a small correction. Like, she died in 2022, and the two stories that we've heard about this week are women that have died like years ago. It's taken 2 years for the medical examiner to release the findings of those. And I was listening to Lawrence O'Donnell. He made such an empowering discussion last night about that, and like he was actually crying about this. We're going to start to see the results of this, not just this year, but next year, the year after that, because it takes a while to get these results back. You're going to see a lot of women are dying in parking lots, waiting to get sick enough to get treatment in the hospital. Yeah. That is crazy.
How does that make sense? Thank you for the correction, Chris. But how does that make sense that you have doctors so afraid that to treat a patient that they know is bleeding out or could develop sepsis because the language in these laws are ambiguous and they feel they may be arrested for murder.
And also arrested and sentenced to life in prison.
Some places 10 years, some places life. But here's the thing, it goes against the Hippocratic oath that they've taken as medical physicians.
To save.
The law and what their duty for their patients are in total conflict, and like it just hurts everyone. It hurts everyone. These people do not know the consequences of their actions. They just want to say, this is the power we have, this is what we want, and we're going to empower it on you. Someone said something that was actually really interesting. democracy is not having power to tell people what to do, but to understand that everyone has the right to feel safe.
Right.
That is the true meaning of democracy. Not just because you have power, you can tell people what to do, but to also consider other people, to allow them to make decisions for themselves. That is democracy.
Right.
I see Gwendolyn's thinking. Gwendolyn?
I don't know. I don't, I'm just, like I said, you know, there comes a point where we have had these discussions time and time again. And we keep having them. We keep talking about women's reproductive healthcare rights. And just, you know, being a woman, there is so much that goes on in this body. We are not one size fits all. But to take it and make it seem it's all about, like, our only purpose on this earth is to birth children. You don't have, you could cook a little, you might want to clean a little bit, you know, something like that. But our sole purpose is to, I'm just saying, you know, our sole purpose is to birth children. After that, like, there's nothing else. It's just, yeah.
And
no,
that takes me to my next headline this week.
Governor
Sarah Huckabee Sanders slams Harris.
I don't want to talk about people.
For not having
Can we kick her to the curb?
That woman. Okay, so let me just say this for the last time. This obsession with these. Okay, so if you're going to be pro-life, then I'm expecting you to truly support life in all the areas that it goes through. Not just that it's only when a woman is pregnant that we actually give a damn. Because after that, like, nobody cares. Maternity leave, you got to fight for it. For the little bit that you do get to be with your child. Paternity leave, you know, same thing. There's not really this care about kids, but to use kids like puppets as if they're property. And for those who don't have kids, one, maybe some women can't have a child because that is true. And then there are some of us who, like, I'm just not that goddamn responsible. I don't need any kids in my house. Now, I love my grandbabies, my nieces, my nephews, but I happily send them home when I am done.
There you go.
That, you know, that exists too. You can have both. But the whole idea that a woman's purpose is to come into the world, birth kids, take care of people, and leave nothing for herself, we are over it. Now, there are some women who want that trad life. Go find them women. They can have all the babies they want. The rest of us don't want that, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. And what, again, I don't get it. I don't get how women could be so cruel to another woman. You know, like, to say something so stupid and so insensitive. You don't know Kamala's situation. You don't know Kamala's situation. You don't know why she doesn't have children.
Absolutely. You don't know anything.
You don't know anything.
And she doesn't have to tell you.
And she don't have to tell you. But you go out and you say you slam her for not having biological children when she has 2 children she's raised and raising.
Right. And what does that say to people to adoptive children?
Yes.
Who were adopted by people who did not have children of their own. What does that say about them? Because, like you were saying about being pro-life, those children were born into the world. They need someone to care for them. That's all that matters. And then you also have her husband's ex-wife saying how great she is with their children.
Yes.
That's the love and kindness.
She came out immediately. She came out immediately in defense.
And you see how she interacts with children.
Yes.
He can never go up to a child like that. He has those children out there. Nobody would want them to touch their kids. I mean, there might be some people, but I think that we do. I agree with Gwendolyn. At some point, people have to stop harping on whether or not someone had a child.
And it's just women.
It's totally irrelevant to anything.
Yeah, it's just women. Like, it's not men. Even when before I got married, if you are a single person and you are a woman, there's this idea.
Remember the old maid syndrome?
That you have more time. You know, they only do it to women. They don't do it to men.
Right.
They don't talk about, like, if it's a guy as well, you know, he's just out there doing his thing. When it's a woman, you get so when are you going to get married?
Yes.
Listen.
How come you aren't? It's like, cut it out, man. Like, just stop. To each his own.
For those that watched The View, they talked about that yesterday. They were saying how, like, what about Lindsey Graham? He don't got no kids. Or what about some of the other people in cars? They don't have kids. You don't hear anyone saying anything about the men. And are they old catless men?
Right.
Well, you know
that part.
that part. Here's
That
something
part.
that's also in the news. This was really crazy. I mean, I'm not laughing about it, but this blew up day 2. Lebanon, Hezbollah
Dude, the
exploding the
technology.
walkie-talkies now. I was like,
I don't know how
what?
Israel is getting away with this. This is actually ridiculous. And the fact that people aren't like having outcry and protesting in the street about this, they are using just everyday systems and hacking them. How they're doing it is beyond me, because it's not like they've gotten access to the pagers and to the walkie-talkies. They're getting access to the networks and they're exploiting those devices.
Well, what they've done is they've gotten hold of those devices before the people they purchased them, but as they were being shipped to them, they intercepted them, put the explosives inside of them, and then put the wherever that chip is or wherever it is to ignite them, or for them to explode, and then they repackaged them, put them in packages, and then they went on to their destination.
Where is the outrage? I mean, they're not just killing people that they're targeting, they're actually killing innocent civilians along with that. Children are being killed because of it. Where's the outrage?
There are two things.
Selective outrage.
I'll share 2 things. My husband said back in February, the head of Hezbollah told his people to stop using those cell phones because that's how they're tracking. He said they don't have to wonder where you are. They're tracking you through your phone, through your children's and your wife's phones, through all your relatives. That's how they track. That's how they know where you're located because of the devices that you're using. And they hack into those devices. They know where you are, right? So going to Chris's question, and that question, why isn't there outrage? I think it was the part that I was talking about yesterday. People say, what's the number one thing, the response they have when Israel's involved with all of this?
Anytime Israel's involved, you always have to worry about if you say something that you're being anti-Semitic, or you always be labeled
not just that part. The part that you said yesterday. Israel has a right to defend themselves.
Yeah.
But they're not defending themselves.
But this is not defending.
I promise you they're going to say, well, these are the people who are funding blah, blah over here, Hamas. So therefore this. I think that's why you don't have as much. And then of course for citizens who, and there are protests, right? But you don't hear them. You don't, because they concentrate on so many other things. But I think that go ahead.
No, the other thing is, like, we're the ones funding this. Americans are funding this.
Absolutely.
So we are responsible as well, because they don't have the economical resources to do all these things without America and other countries outside of Israel.
And so look at Jazzy's comment, because that's one of the things I said. Pastor Mike, who has a church in Harlem, said that one of the things we have to do is stop letting media guide our thoughts, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that, these people are terrorists. Hezbollah is terrorists. The Iranians are terrorists. All these terrorists are being attacked. So, okay, they're just killing terrorists. That's what media wants you to say all the time, instead of the fact that everybody saw when that explosive device went off in that store, there were people around who got impacted by that. There were children, everybody, lots of innocent people who got impacted by that. And media does control what we talk about, even from the story about Haiti. Media controls that.
Yeah.
They can go a different route. But it's like, how do we contend with the fact that our government is funding stuff? I mean, these technologies we have too. We have these same technologies. We can do these things.
It just, I was just shocked. I mean, I was like, what? I mean, so what's happening with Hezbollah is now they're, what was said in some of the commentaries this morning and yesterday, is that they don't know what's next. So now they're in like, what other devices, what other appliances, what other things that could be a bomb? Are there appliances that are also have bombs in them? Where are they going to attack us next?
Yeah, my husband brought the appliances up yesterday. He said all your smart things in your house, because I have a cooktop and it's a smart cooktop. I can go online and control the cooktop if I want to, right? He
It
said,
is wild.
You do know that those things are things they can use to attack people. So, and then what has it done to Hezbollah? So it's destroying their ability to communicate.
Yes.
So they have no way of communicating.
Right, because it's pagers, no communication, and walkie-talkies, no communication.
Because they stopped using the cell phone because they were told to stop using cell phones.
Right, they stopped using that. Right, exactly.
What do you want to do? I mean, you have to make a joke out of it. What are we going to go after next? Pigeons.
Well, you could go back to pigeons. Pigeons still work.
Pigeons, and you know what? They still use pigeons. People still use pigeons.
Still use pigeons.
Okay, here's another one. Another subject headline. Diddy's safety fears. There are people that are terrified about Diddy being locked up, and will he?
He don't care about you.
Will he become a Epstein?
He don't care about us.
It's like I'm gonna have Kamala Harris response right now. Next.
Thank you. I've only seen a couple of posts, like videos about Diddy, and they are pro Diddy. That he was changing his life. He gave his life to God. Anybody who's about to do hard time is giving their life to God. So go ahead and scratch that out, right? Like ain't nobody. At the end of the day, the man has done some horrible, disgusting
horrible things.
It's his time to pay for them disgusting things. Am I afraid for his life? Honestly, no. If he gonna, give up some people like Nino Brown, everybody.
Tell him to bring one of those many bottles of lube that they found with him. He'll be all right. Let's keep it real.
Prison's not a nice place.
I saw a picture yesterday. I thought it was like someone created this thing or whatever, but they actually released a photo of the room with all the lube.
Really?
Yes. It's out there. They put it out there. I mean, it's not even just a lube. Now they found, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
We have to think about, because he gave up all the passports, said he would give up his children's passport. He would put all these places up so he could get this bail if he got bail. But they're investigating you for so many things.
So many.
And we all know people can have other passports for different countries. We learned that over the last few years that rich people are getting alternative passports, right?
Well, you can have a second passport. You can have a third passport. You can have dual citizenship.
He could be in Bali with Russell, that if you let him out.
Just wanted to throw that one out there that people are concerned about his life. They're like, because he has all this knowledge about all these people that were inside of these freak off parties. And
so is he safer inside?
They're not afraid for his life. They're afraid for theirs.
They're afraid for their
reputation. That's what that is. They're worried.
Let's clarify that.
To get out.
There's something in the news that is really cool. I'm happy about. Drop of the U.S. interest rates by 0.5 point. Now, guys, I don't know if I love finance and all that stuff, and I follow this kind of stuff. But I'm like, thank God we can get some relief on these credit card bills because the interest rates. It was rumored to only be 0.25 point, and they did 50%, and 5%. Right, so it's 0.5%. There we go.
0.5%. Yeah.
0.5%. And there are more on the way. So this is really good news for the economy. This is also good news for the Kamala Harris ticket, because it shows that the Biden-Harris administration has done the right thing. And all the economists are saying this is the first time in history, economically, that we've had what's called a soft landing, meaning you didn't go straight from interest rates being high and having inflation and then going into a recession where they tweak it so much that like what's this Greenspan did. Greenspan tweaked it too much and then we went into a recession.
Right.
This is the first time that it was done properly, gradually, and now jobs are at a level that interest and inflation has gone down to 2.3%, heading towards 2%, which is where they were trying to market. And you have to thank the Biden administration for doing it.
Right.
Because, even though it's in conjunction with the Federal, the Federal Reserve, they are independent, but it's also policies that the government makes that influences the economy, which then creates an environment for the Federal Reserve to now make those decisions and changes. So
I think I'm sure people are excited about that, especially if they're getting ready, they want to buy a home or they want to refinance a home. My husband, I tell people, I say, you're like, oh my God, interest rates are 6%. I was like, you should have been buying a house when I was buying a house. You'd be in tears.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, and
we wish it was 6%
during the Carter years, and the interest rates were like 12%, 15%, 16%.
Yeah, they at 17. They were as high as 17%. I think when we bought our house, it might have been initially started out with like 12%. And then as soon when we got a chance to refinance, of course we did, but we probably refinance down to 7%.
Yeah.
But I think it's it's all like it's all relative, right? So that happens, and then house prices go up, and so housing is so more expensive. Wow. But one of the other things my husband said, he said he also noticed that the gas prices went down.
Yeah, everything's going down.
Gas prices went up dramatically.
Down.
It's
California, not happening out there.
It's below $3 for the first time in such a long time, and it's been like that for the last 2 weeks.
Good job.
Yeah.
So the question is, have you heard anyone talk about it though?
No.
I told you they never talk about it.
No. You would think this would be in the news, on the news, but they're worried about Springfield. And again, the media could just cut it off. Yep. The media could stop talking about it. And if the media start talking about it, then it would deflate the whole situation. And you got all this other news. Again, gas is down to its lowest levels in years. And you have the interest rates down now. Inflation is down. People are working. There is in a lot of cases,
crime is down. All these things are down.
Crime is down.
Crime is down.
Democrats have to be talking about these things. If they're not talking about it, no one's going to hear. They need to start talking about this stuff, because the more that they talk about it, the more it'll spread. And because listen, people aren't getting their news traditionally through TV anymore. It's all through social media. So we have to be able to say, hey, look, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. These are all good things. We need to spread the word.
Absolutely.
They should be creating those memes on the economy, so we can keep passing them on. I'm about passing these things and reposting.
Yes, you are.
I repost. I'm like, if there's anything I'm going to keep reminding people are other reposts.
Right. Absolutely. You gotta repost.
But things are doing well, and I mean, let me tell you, I was just in a meeting, and we were talking about our business plans, and we had to do our pros and cons about our businesses. And it was really good to get some great feedback from the panel and discussion and the people. But interest rates going down helps so many people. If the interest rate, because we did not expect interest rates to go so high. And in some cases, people that have credit card debt, they're paying 29% interest. Back in the old days, that would be the loan shark. The loan shark was doing 30% interest.
Right.
So we are in,
right.
But so at least hopefully this will come down. The next couple of months, it'll come down. And God, please, I pray every day that Kamala wins, because if Trump is in office,
we're all dead.
We're doomed. We just need to pray that we get the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
Yes.
So we won't sit and struggle now with the House blocking everything that they block. And I think AOC was online talking about the House again, the Republican House, thinking about allowing the government to shut down.
Yes.
So
well, that's what Trump is telling them to do. He's telling them shut down the government.
Of course he is.
Here's my thing. You are not in power. You are an ex-president. You should not have any say. The people that are in Congress should not be listening to. How can he dictate to these people what they should be doing when he's not hired them to go? The people have hired them to go and represent them.
Right.
So
He should
Mike
not have
Johnson
any
is a
input.
fool. Mike Johnson is a fool.
Yep.
And to understand what it means, people don't understand what it means if the government shuts down. I'm convinced most people don't understand that. So they think government shuts down. Oh, Washington shuts down. Okay, so no. Government shuts down, so does airports.
Social security checks don't go out.
You have TSA agents. They are agents for the government.
Lose their job.
All of these things that shut down.
And then your economy suffers.
Everything
Again, we just got the interest rates down. We just got inflation down. And now you want to muck up the economy. I said muck.
Yeah. I know. Not you being nice. But I'm like you, Ron. So.
Well, there is also, since we're at this almost near the end, and I wanted to also get my little banner going because I want to make sure I do this every day.
Yeah.
First, I want to thank our sponsors. Hold on a second to get that off. Let me get this a little banner off. Gotta thank our sponsors, even though we got two sponsors. Thanking for the sponsors, and also thank you again for the Patreon community who helps support what we do here. Let me pop this off and hold on a second. Let me pop it off here. Here we go. There we go. It's gone. So also I want to say thank you to Mimi and Aya for becoming Patreon members and supporting what we do here. Thank you, Mimi and Aya, for supporting. I appreciate you. And again, if you want to support what we do here, and you can support by putting in and going to, let me just get the banner up there. Here we go. You know, I'm slow on this stuff, right? There we go. Support by joining my Patreon community. And you can do this I'm going to try to be more responsible in doing this every day. It's important. And so yeah, if you want to become a supporter, that's what pays for StreamYard. We can have better things on StreamYard if you want to, you know, the money's there, then we can move it and say, okay, you know, instead of doing the $25 a month, we could do $50 a month, so, you know, and be able to do more things with the StreamYard. So again, the community becomes what you make it. So help with Patreon. Every dollar counts. And if you go to the Patreon page, you can see how you can contribute. And if you want to be a contributor of $100 a month, that will get you your logo onto the logo sponsor page. And if you want me to announce your products, you can do that too. And we will do that for, you know, you can look at Patreon and get the prices and stuff. Okay. So, but thank you, Patreon members, for supporting. I appreciate you. And there we go. So what else is on the agenda? Well,
I have one. I have one.
Go ahead.
You know, I want to talk about Putin and his BS.
Yes.
Suggesting that people have sex at work because the child birth rate is so low, like in the last 25 years.
Have y'all heard the story?
Yes.
No.
Gwendolyn, you got to tell them the story.
Okay, so I don't know exactly how all this works, but the idea is that, you know, Russia is seeing a very low birth rate, the lowest in 25 years. And so Putin is suggesting that people have sex at work to get the babies back in rotation. I would suggest perhaps not, you know, going out and creating wars and sending people off to die. Maybe that helps too. Maybe those people who are now dead could have been making some babies. How about that? But that's what they're suggesting. Yeah. Now I don't know if you get like a conjugal room to get your freak on in the morning, you know, like a little afternoon delight. But it's an interesting.
Is a conference room become an orgy room?
Co-workers, I guess, huh?
I mean,
I don't know how it's
a freak party in the office.
I was shocked with this story. I could not believe that Putin was telling people to have sex at lunch.
I think that
now that's afternoon delight.
Wait. The question is, do you get paid for that? Because my time is my time.
I get extra if I get pregnant.
Have y'all heard, has anyone in the community heard this story? Oh my gosh.
But I think, you know, they don't think about. So it's a couple of things. It's the people who are going away and get killed, but it's also young people. I know young people who said, I'm not having kids because I don't like what I see in the world.
A lot of kids, a lot of young people over
there probably think that way too. They probably say, nope, because you wanted them to grow up so that you can send them off to fight in some crazy war that has nothing to do with us for real. So it's all of that stuff. I think that's a big part of what people miss. You know, when China did it, China's like, okay, y'all can have more kids now. And they're like, we don't want any more.
That's right. Well, also, and speaking of China, China is now saying that they need to get rid of that law that they put in place in the 80s or late 90s, early 90s,
right,
late 80s, where every family was only allowed one child. And so to control the population growth. But they find now in China, their economy is suffering because there's not enough there are not enough young people to take care of the older people as their population ages. That's what happened in there were two reasons why Japan went into a major decline economically, is because one, they had no young people to take care of the older people. The country aged, and also in both of these countries, they don't have an immigration policy. So not like America. This is another thing about these JD Vances and Trump people. They're so stupid. They're so uneducated. They're so blind to what the power of immigration. What makes America beautiful is our immigration. Having people come into your country allows for growth of new ideas, inspiration, also the jobs that no one wants, so that they can do those jobs. The economy, just like what Ohio is going through right now. Ohio's population went from, I think they said 100,000 people down to 60,000 people. And so they lost 40,000 people, but they gained 15,000 people from the Haitians. So 15,000 Haitians came in, 15,000 Haitians and others. It wasn't just Haitians.
Haitians,
and they came in legally.
And they came in legally. And they said that the healthcare, because the Haitians work in the hospitals, they work in the bakeries, they're working at the corporations. They said the startup companies that came to Ohio, to Springfield, are thriving because of immigration, the immigration policy. So again, when you get rid of people from others, when you fight others, you destroy yourself at the end. And the history proves it. China, Japan, and you can go through all the other countries that are what they call homogeneous countries.
Here's something that I don't think people even thought about. JD Vance and Donald Trump wouldn't have kids if they didn't marry immigrants.
Both of them. Absolutely.
Both of them.
Absolutely.
Think about that.
About self-hate. I mean, it's all about this self-hate thing.
Think about that.
Trump married two immigrants, and JD Vance, I believe his wife might have been born here, but like her parents are immigrants.
Yeah, her parents are from India.
Yeah.
So wait, does his house smell like curry? I mean, you make those ignorant comments. Think about what you're saying. Of course, his house smells like curry.
Of course it does.
Think about what you're saying.
It is ridiculous.
But the grandmother was keeping the kids. You know it smelled like curry.
Okay, so my last thought of the day, because we're going to go into close, is I got a thought. I'm excited about these how we're going to end these our talks.
What's the question?
So are y'all ready for this one today?
We're ready. I'm ready.
Do you remember the love of Now and Later candies?
Yes.
I do. Brenda saying, Sean, you don't know about now and later?
No. I understand now and later's, but if I had known then what it did for in terms of dental work, I would not have gone down that path. No, I understand. Me and my dentist, we understand.
Who was a now and later candy bandit?
I was that.
Listen, I was like, back in the day.
Where's the grape and where's the apple?
Sour apple right here. Sour apple.
And grape. Sour apple and grape.
Sour apple.
But what I love is the little packs you would get at the corner stores. They were like they were like 25 cents for the little packs.
Yes, they were.
You used to buy a bunch of them. And what I love was when they got a little warm because they got a little sticky, like taffy.
we were eating all the candy that stuck to our teeth.
I see Fifi's laughing. She's laughing, and then and B Pearl Sandra says, we dudes in junior high school, because this is when I was in high school. Now and Laters was like the hottest thing going. I mean, every girl had in her bag a Now and Later package, or maybe 2, or maybe 3 flavors. And we dudes was to always hang out with the girls for our Now and Laters, because dudes didn't buy it. But we went and ate all. We just ate up all the girls. The girls were like, you got a Now and Later? You got it now? And we used to pass it in class in junior high school. I mean, who remembers those Now and Later?
Here's the funny thing. I know it's spelled Now and Later, but no one ever pronounced it like that. It was Now Laters. Anybody got Now Laters?
Now Laters. You got Now Later?
That's right. Tongue purple. You go into class like.
That's right. Tongue is purple. Tongue is green.
Green. Purple.
Yeah.
That color came out.
Yeah. Oh, that sour apple, man. I can still taste it right now.
Wasn't it the best?
It was the best.
Pure sugar.
Oh my goodness. But
straight sugar. Sticky sugar.
But back then it was real sugar. It wasn't high fructose corn syrup. And hey, Mimi's in the building. Mimi, did you hear me say thank you? I said thank you for being a Patreon member. Thank you, Mimi.
Look, I ate everything that was sticky. Now and Later.
Now and the taffy, remember that taffy thing and it got
Sugar Daddies, everything that was sticky, I ate it.
I loved Laffy Taffy.
Well, wait a minute.
Still do Laffy
she ate
Taffy.
all the candy, but she didn't do cereal.
Yeah, hello. What's going on there?
Didn't do cereal. See, candy wasn't getting soggy like that cereal and that milk. It was.
Well, this is true. This is true.
And Paro says, Now and Later.
That's exactly how you spell it.
Hey, Bryson, I didn't forget you, buddy. I'm so sorry. Hey, Bryson is in the building. He says, Ron, you forgot about me. We see you, Bri. We see you, Bri. And I see Dr. Tachi has walked in the building. Dr. Tachi says, Now Laters.
That too.
Wasn't that the treat?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were in school, you could like I said, we dudes had them, but we used to collect them from the girls. I mean, I did. I used to I'm not buying no Now Laters, but I made sure all my girlfriends, meaning not girlfriends like girlfriend,
right.
But
that's what you say now, Ron. What you say now.
I was old.
You could afford the candy, right?
I couldn't afford the candies.
I look at candy now. It's like if what would Now and Laters cost now? I don't even go in the store to find out. They probably
here in New York City, on the east side of New York, on First Avenue, I think it is. You know what, Elise, when you come to New York, I'm taking you there. On the east side, they have what's called the Candy Store.
Oh, okay.
And what it does is a huge. I would say huge, but it's a nice size candy store. And it has every candy ever created in that store.
Now they have one in Cleveland called Sweeties.
I think it's called Sweeties. I think it's called Sweeties.
Oh, really?
Here.
They have one in Sweeties. They have everything. They got the Reggie Jackson bar. They have everything.
Everything.
And when I worked at school, when I was still assistant principal, my husband and I would go to Cleveland and visit our relatives. I would come back with all of these different candies that people like root beers, butterscotches, and strawberries, and put them in a container on my desk. And I would have people coming in to get candy. One little girl came and she surprised me. She wanted root beer barrels. I was like, "You know about these?"
See, her grandmother told her about that.
We have a candy. That would be good. That would be a good trip. I mean, if we did a meetup in New York.
Yes.
We would have to do a near restaurant near Sweeties.
Yes, we have to do that.
That would be really good. I mean, my friend and I, Linda, Gwendolyn knows Linda. She's one of my besties. And we go down memory lane I think it's called Sweeties. I believe it's Sweeties on the east side.
Okay. It might
The
be.
one we have here is called Rocket Fizz, and it has all the old candies, including the ones that it was the gum that came in the cigarette pack that you could blow smoke out of.
Yes,
I know. I was like, he actually played.
There we go.
Everybody, yeah.
Cigarette. I mean, the messaging back then was just so different for kids.
The little wax that was shaped like a Coke bottle. They had the
yes.
I
was like, oh my God, they have all the good stuff.
Candy necklaces.
There's a store out here in Delaware like that. I don't know what it's called, but we've gone and gotten like packs of Annihilators and old candies that you can't find anywhere else. You can get it there, and it's actually relatively inexpensive.
I want to get on my bike and go get some Annihilators. I want to go. I want to go to that candy store now. I used
they don't have corner stores anymore.
No,
not they carry that. You're like, no.
I mean, you don't see. I mean, you go to the bodegas today.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Remember the little juices, the little juice things?
Juicies.
They look like grenades.
Yeah.
Remember Pop Rocks?
Silver foil.
Do y'all remember Pop Rocks?
I buy Pop Rocks all the time. I still buy them, and I get a bottle of Pepsi with them.
Look, guys, I'm gonna have to get off because I have.
We're gonna get off.
Look, I'm baking a pound cake and it's about to come out of the stove. I have a customer coming for it. I don't need any smoke.
I want slice. So guys, anyway, good. Elise, where can people find you? Let me just pick this up. It will be easy to see.
Elise, SALIEZ _ on Instagram.
And Gwendolyn, where can people find you?
Black Power Bunny on Instagram and GR Houston Jack on YouTube.
And Dr. Chris.
It's constantly _changing the number 4 me on Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Facebook, all the places.
Oh, and you know where to find me here every day at 10 o'clock, hanging out with you all. 10 o'clock here on Touch Base Daily on Ron Lewis Photos on YouTube. And guys, thank you for joining us. We had a great discussion. If you just joined in, you missed out on we did a lot of headlines today. So check them out. Do the repeat. Check out the repeat. You can check it out on my platform, or you can go to Indie Soup and check it out on Indie Soup at 4 o'clock on the Indie Soup Media. So check that out. And we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Focus Friday. We'll be focusing on any accounts, Instagram accounts, YouTube accounts that bless, encourage, and inspire, but also help us to navigate this 2024 election. Okay, guys, so let's keep sharing about Project 2025. Let's keep sharing about Kamala Harris. We got some good news today also in the polls. A lot of the polls have her going ahead, but we still need that 5-point gap. We need 5 to 6 point gaps in all of the swing states. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. And we'll be talking about all those things to talk about elections. So guys, have a great Thursday. Keep me in your prayers as I have an event to photograph this evening. I'm excited about that. Cannot wait to go hang out with the folks. I love my work. I love my job. And if anyone knows anyone that needs an event photographer, give me a call in New York City or anywhere. If you want me to fly to California to do your event, I'll come. So let me know. Put me on the plane. Take me anywhere. Share me anywhere you want. I will photograph your event. Okay. Should I say goodbye? Should I say goodbye, y'all?
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.